In a dilapidated subway station, a girl and a boy stand, beams of light circling around them. The girl pleads to the boy, her brother, to return with her. "I'm not your brother," is all the boy tells her. Before she can say more, a motorcycle comes to the scene. Elsewhere, a high schooler is getting ready for kendo practice. He's supposedly around his family, but when did family get so cold? His brother passes by him as if he's air. His mother just stares at him coldly. He bids her goodbye but gets no response. This is Takeshi Nanase's life. He'd rather go anywhere just to leave the house. Even hell would be a lot sweeter than staying in that asphyxiating dump. On his way to school, he meets his girlfriend Kurumi Isoshima. While walking together, she asks if Gecko is still not speaking to him. Maybe that's the brother from earlier. Takeshi thinks they won't ever talk. This saddens the girl, and she proposes that she could talk to Gecko, which Takeshi doesn't want. Kurumi reminds him that it's not his fault, but he doesn't respond. Instead, he just walks faster. Soon enough, they arrive at school and part ways. When Takeshi's in front of his clubroom door, he senses something weird but chalks it up to his imagination. Soon enough, he realizes that it isn't, because bang! The door next to the clubroom bursts open, with an unconscious girl falling through it. Her uniform's completely different from his. Which school is she from? Takeshi tries to wake her, but to no avail, so he immediately carries her to the nurse's office. Nobody's there yet, so he carries the girl to the bed. The girl cries in her sleep, calling for her brother. Takeshi tries to calm her, but the girl suddenly hugs him, still crying for her brother. Soon enough, she wakes up and instantly panics at the sight of Takeshi. She pushes him away, takes out her gun, and points it at him, much to Takeshi's surprise. How can a schoolgirl be carrying a dangerous weapon? She asks him where they are, and Takeshi answers that they're at the nurse's office at Sakuraya High School. Still confused, she asks the boy why. "Why? Because you suddenly collapsed, so I carried you here," Takeshi says. The girl seems to still be weak. She collapses again right into Takeshi's arms, causing them to accidentally kiss. When she realizes what happened, the girl fires her gun, which seems to have some sort of magic. Takeshi dodges it, telling the girl to calm down and that it's an accident. But she's not having any of this. No sir. In fact, she almost hits Takeshi and accuses him of being a perv. Eventually though, she calms down upon learning that that was Takeshi's first kiss. Well, same here. So maybe they can just agree on forgetting that this ever even happened to begin with. With that all cleared up, they introduce themselves. He's Takeshi, a freshman. The mysterious magical gun-carrying girl is Mui Aiba. As they're starting to have a decent conversation, Takeshi notices glowing smoke slowly coming out of the gun. "You can see it?" "Oh no," Mui says, worried. She then bows and apologizes to him. As if that wasn't confusing enough, a glowing red butterfly flies in, which Takeshi points out. Mui promptly shoots it, identifying it as a scout bug. She then urges Takeshi to come with her and leave. The girl takes his hand, and poor Takeshi has no choice but to come with her. They haven't gone far when a mysterious guy with a sword appears. He's Tsuganashi Aiba, and it seems like he forgot about his sister. Still, he's forcing her to come with him. Mui is begging him to snap out of it. The trailers rewrote his memories. He should believe her. Tsuganashi's allies arrive: Ushiwaka, Takao Oigami, and Hotaru Kumagai. Takeshi grabs Mui and rushes to the window, only to find it sealed with ice due to Tsuganashi's magic. Oh no, they're trapped! Oigami volunteers to take down Mui and Takeshi. Oigami is armed with a huge metal sword, yet Takeshi bravely proceeds to fight him with his bamboo sword to protect Mui. Takeshi turns out to be really good at kendo. He can match Oigami's moves. He even manages to hit Oigami's chest. Annoyed that a boy wielding a wooden sword too, can land a hit on him. Oigami attacks more aggressively. Takeshi's bamboo sword can't stand the force, so it breaks. Strangely, Takeshi's left eye changes color, and he can suddenly see Oigami's next move. He uses this sudden but beneficial ability to effectively counter it. As he makes his move, Takeshi tells Mui to duck, and true enough, Oigami loses his grip on his sword, and it flies toward the window. The huge blade breaks the ice barrier, allowing Takeshi and Mui to escape. Takeshi's sudden display of magic power leaves Tsuganashi and the rest stunned. Tsuganashi recognizes Takeshi as an evasive magic user, just like Oigami. Tsuganashi then tasks the group to capture Mui no matter what. Meanwhile, a blonde named Kazumi Ida walks into the school, lamenting the need to go in the summer due to remedial classes. He then sees Takeshi and Mui running, so he follows them. As he looks for the two, Oigami and Ushiwaka tell him to get out of the way. Hotaru comes later, telling them to wait for her. Kazumi then asks her what they're doing and remarks that they seem to be chasing Takeshi. "You know him?" she asks as she takes out a syringe. Kazumi watches in terror as sigils glow in the ground. Meanwhile, Takeshi and Mui are still running from their pursuers. Takeshi asks who they are, and Mui answers that they're magicians wanting to take her. The boy seems to take this in stride. He's more confused about why she's still here. She clearly feels better. She should go home. To Takeshi's surprise, Mui kneels and begs for forgiveness. She apologizes for accidentally turning him into a magician. Huh? It happened because Takeshi got in contact with magic when Mui shot him with the a magical gun. Mui then reveals that a community of magicians called Ghost Trailers rewrote her brother's memories. Throughout time, ordinary people have feared magicians, which is why they hide their existence. There are still magicians who want to coexist with people in peace, but the Ghost Trailers say F no to that. They don't want to coexist with non-magicals. Mui also adds that she attends the Subaru Magic Academy, a magician school where she learns many things to help them live alongside ordinary people. Finally explains the unfamiliar uniform she's wearing. While they talk, Kurumi finds them, scolding Takeshi for not going to kendo practice. Also, who's that girl? Before Takeshi can introduce Mui, Oigami and Ushiwaka arrive. This time, they plan to take both Mui and Takeshi, given his newly activated power. Takeshi tells Mui to leave and hide with Kurumi. All Kurumi got from that is he called this strange girl by her first name. She just wants to know who Mui is before doing anything. Girl, read the room. You're in danger. Oigami starts to attack Takeshi while Ushiwaka takes on Mui. Before he can do anything to her though, Kurumi bashes his head with her book. He's in the way. She has a lot of things to ask this girl. Incensed, Ushiwaka rashly attacks Mui and Kurumi with a magical briefcase containing poisonous insects. They manage to dodge the insects a bit, thankfully. Ushiwaka's smug, but Oigami calls him a bozo. The smug bozo then goes through a bloody and painful process called the gift, wherein one loses their magic. When you use magic to attack a magician in the living world, you will lose all your magic powers since the living world is like a cursed place for magicians. As Oigami and Takeshi start fighting again, Kurumi suddenly feels pain because she was bitten by the insect on her arms. She passes out, and a magic circle starts glowing under her. Mui sees Kurumi's chest getting bigger, and she realizes that Kurumi has acquired transformation magic. But then Kazumi joins the party, carrying Hotaru on his shoulder. Oigami asks him why he has Hotaru, and he shares that he just wanted to talk to her, but she attacked him. Then, she suddenly kneeled over and passed out. Initially, nothing seems wrong with Kazumi, but then Kurumi notices his hand is blazing. It turns out that he also has become a magician with destructive magic. All these incidents irk Oigami. He just wants to defeat Takeshi and finish their business. As they fight, Takeshi can foresee Oigami's attacks, just as Oigami can predict his. Neither wants to back down, so this fight will surely last forever. That's until Takeshi sees Mui with her gun out. As Takeshi continues to fight, Mui activates the electric heat in her gun to fire a light screen behind Takeshi. The strong light makes it impossible for Oigami to see Takeshi's move. Takeshi then clobbers him in the throat, making him cough blood and collapse. After the fight, knowing 3 ordinary students become magicians, Mui has no choice but to take them to her world to protect them. The world the magicians live in is called the Ruined World, and Takeshi is speechless upon seeing this miserable world. He said before that he'd even take hell over going home, but he didn't imagine seeing a place like this. The teens stare at the ruins below them. Where on earth are we? Kurumi asks. Mui explains that it's a place where time is distorted, the Ruined World. Somewhere in the ruined city, a man floating in the sky speaks of him awakening, heralding the opening of Pandora's box. With it, the world will return to its original form. In this world, there will be no place for weak humans, only for magicians. In Subaru Magic Academy's clinic, the nurse, Nanami Hyodo, treats Kurumi's wound. As Mui explains how magic can help heal, Nanami scolds them for fighting. She then tells them that Momotan called for them, so they shouldn't keep her waiting. Takeshi asks who Momotan is, and Mui tells him she's the headmistress. Mui knocks on the office's door, and they come in. The figure behind the table tells them the 3 Ghost Trailer members have been captured. She then tells them to sit. The headmistress, who is a girl their age, introduces herself as Momoka Shijo. The 3 previously ordinary teens are obviously confused, so Momoka explains the circumstances that lead to this. Around 16 years ago, a great magic war, a full-scale conflict between magicians broke out. A magician of immense power led the Ghost Trailers to fight a group of magicians who wanted to stop them. This leader, named Kazuma Ryusenji, attempted to eradicate all of humanity using the spell Last Requiem. Fortunately, 15 great magicians opposed him and combined their powers to split the world into 2. As a result, one of these worlds, the living world, where Takeshi and his friends come from, has been spared from the destruction while the ruined world is, well, ruined. After this, a pact is formed. The magicians vowed to continue the war only within the ruined world. The winner will rule the living world. To ensure that magicians could no longer fight in the living world, a magician of the highest level, the wise man, casted the gift spell upon it. Yep, the one we saw earlier. This ensures magicians can't use their ancestral magic against each other. Ancestral magic? The affinity a magician has based on their personality. There are 6: evasive, illusion, destructive, black, accelerative, and corporeal magics. Takeshi asks what happened to Ryusenji, and Momoka tells him that he, hopefully, fell into a deep sleep after casting Last Requiem. Kurumi then inquires about communities. Momoka explains that these are groups that share a common ideology. Ghost Trailers is one, wanting magician supremacy. Another is Wizard Brace, those who want to live harmoniously with non-magicians. After these explanations, Momoka informs them of their two options: stay in the academy and learn magic, or give up their powers and return to the living world. After thinking it through and the assurance that the academy's safe, Takeshi decides to stay, much to Mui's surprise. Kazumi unexpectedly stays too. Not wanting to be left out, Kurumi chooses to stay too, despite her hesitation. In the living world, Gekko is not pleased upon hearing that Takeshi and Kurumi are transferring to another school. His mother's unsympathetic, reminding him that he has other priorities. But still, Gekko looks pissed. Takeshi and his friends begin attending classes as first-year novice magicians. When the teacher realizes Takeshi doesn't have an aspect or the tool a magician uses to project their power, he asks Mui to accompany Takeshi to the shop so he can choose an aspect that suits his power. At the shop, Takeshi asks the shopkeeper Pops to give him something like a Japanese sword. Pops shows him one about the same length as a bamboo sword. According to him, the sword was also owned by an evasive magic user who is now living a normal life without magic. The two teens are even more amazed when the man reveals that the previous owner was one of the 15 magicians who fought during the Great Magic War. When Takeshi tries to wield the sword, he notices a magic circle inscribed on the hilt. It's a magic sword. However, an aspect bearing another magician's magic circle is dangerous. One might lose an arm or two using it. While Takeshi ponders whether he should take it, Pop suddenly attacks him to test him and the weapon. Although the sudden sword fight surprises Takeshi, he still manages to defend himself. Then when the shopkeeper has almost hit him, Takeshi successfully projects his power on the sword. Takeshi struggles to hold on to the sword as it consumes so much energy from him until a cartridge pops up. A gun sword? The sword has slowly sapped Takeshi's strength until he can no longer take it and deactivates his power. Nevertheless, Pops is impressed with Takeshi's first try. He encourages Takeshi to take the sword as his aspect. He then provides Takeshi with 3 special bullets that will let him alter the shape of the sword based on another magician's magic. Twilight, Pop says, the sword's name. That's what the previous owner called it. Takeshi pushes past his hesitation and takes Twilight. When they go back to their classroom, it's pandemonium. Ashes everywhere, terrified students hiding under their desks. Kurumi complains that Kazumi's magic went haywire. The teacher seems used to it though. After all, Class C is known as the class from hell. Outside a church, a man inside a car calls to V, praising her work. V calls the man Kippei, asking why he didn't help her as she gets in. Kippei didn't want to ruin her fun, but wizard brace or not, did she really have to kill them all? They saw my face. V reasons. Just that? What's the robe for then? V believes that the robe can't contain her beauty. Kippei comes closer, but V threatens him with a taste of hell. Kippei decides to return to the castle. After all, the sleeping prince awaits them. Since transferring to Subaru Magic Academy, the 3 novices have been meeting for extra practice before and after school every day. Takeshi struggles to activate the cartridge again while Kurumi's transformation power is progressing. It's going very well. Judging by the male student stares, Kazumi is, well, still setting fires to things. Since Kurumi has no female friends, she spends a lot of time with Mui. She denies their friendship though. I think she's still salty about Mui's closeness to Takeshi. As the girls change clothes for their swimming class, Mui gives Kurumi a ticket for a fortune-telling event. At first, Kurumi rejects it, but when Mui mentions that the fortune teller reads love fortunes, Kurumi decides to accept the ticket. Kurumi reaches for the ticket, getting an eyeful of Mui's chest. She bombards the girl with questions. Does she drink milk? Does she do dorsal stretching? Poor Mui is so confused until Kurumi spells it out. How is her chest so big? Does she have someone massage it for her then? Mui instantly denies it and asks Kurumi the same question. Absolutely not! I don't even let Takeshi touch them. Kurumi blurts out. She then runs away, extremely mortified. Mui is left there confused. What does Takeshi have to do with anything? She then imagines him offering to massage her chest. The poor girl sinks to the floor in embarrassment. So, the 2 girls spend gym class mortified. They can't even meet each other's gazes without blushing. When the boys see them after, they're confused about their behavior. But before they can get to the bottom of it, 2 girls walk by them. Takeshi, Kurumi, and Kazumi hear the girls calling Mui the traitor sister, upsetting Mui so much that she runs away. As the 3 wonder what's up, their teacher Makoto Hitoji pipes up about the 2 girls being members of Wizard Brace. He then educates them about the 7 communities of magicians wherein the Wizard Brace is the leader. The ghost trailers don't associate with any of them, but every one of these 7 communities has its own opinion about the trailers. The community most opposed to the trailers is the Wizard Brace, to which the academy belongs. Mui is also a member of the Wizard Brace. However, some members treat her badly because of her brother. Hearing this story reminds Takeshi of Gekko, who has also been treating him as a traitor. He's the one who'd understand Mui's feelings most, as they share the same burden. Takeshi stops zoning out when Kurumi urges him and Kazumi to go back inside the building. Afterward, on his way to the class, Takeshi finds finds some boys looking at Kurumi's photos in swimming class. To stop them, he reveals that he's dating Kurumi, which surprises the boys. All this time, they thought the two are just childhood friends. The boys back off thankfully. Unfortunately, Mui's present for this grand reveal. Mui approaches him and apologizes. She didn't know. She runs away before Takeshi can explain. Kurumi witnesses how upset Takeshi is after this. Damn, a love triangle? Even during class, Mui keeps distancing herself from Takeshi and Kurumi notices it. The girl feels hurt by this. When Kurumi goes to the fortune teller, the woman reads that she is having an unrequited love with Takeshi, to Kurumi's surprise. She insists that it's not one-sided love, they're already together. The fortune teller smiles wickedly and warns Kurumi that Takeshi's eyes will wander. It angers Kurumi, so she flips over the table before rushing back to the academy. As she runs, Kurumi remembers Mui approaching her earlier to apologize. Mui revealed the school clinic incident to her. You know that time when they accidentally smooched? Yep, that one. This made Kurumi so jealous that when she finally spots Takeshi in the hallway, she immediately jumps to kiss him. However, Takeshi's quick enough to cover her mouth. Kurumi's action surprises and confuses Takeshi, and she's offended by his rejection. Why doesn't he want to kiss her? They're together. With that, Takeshi suddenly begs her for them to stop pretending to be in a romantic relationship, leaving Kurumi at a loss for words. Oh, so it's fake all this time? Sheesh. Seems like Kurumi forgot that essential fact. 3 days since Takeshi suggested ending their fake relationship, Kurumi has been ditching practice and ignoring Takeshi. Mui blames herself for it, but Takeshi reassures her that it isn't her fault. Kurumi witnesses their sweet interaction, which only makes her jealous. Afterward, Mui approaches Kurumi to apologize, but the latter beats her to it. Kurumi confronts her about what she and Takeshi were discussing. Kurumi then asks her if she likes someone. Mui stutters to answer that she doesn't like anyone. Kurumi doesn't care to hear her answer though and just walks out on her. As she walks, a boy approaches her to ask her out. Kurumi rejects him, saying that she's dating Takeshi. The boy doesn't seem to believe her, but her answer's still the same. When she tries to walk away, the boy tries to stop her, grabbing her on the shoulder. This sets her off, causing her to sink to the floor in panic. The boy panics at Kurumi's reaction, but thankfully, Takeshi rescues her and urges the boy to go away. This incident takes Takeshi back to when they were younger. Kurumi has always been pretty. Age just enhanced it. When she started middle school, boys started asking her out. In her second year of middle school, she had a horrible experience with a stalker. Due to this, she stopped coming to school for a while. To help her, Takeshi agreed to pretend to be Kurumi's boyfriend to chase boys away. They also agreed to stop their fake relationship when they find someone they love. Back to the present, Takeshi clarifies to Kurumi that he only suggested ending the fake dating. It doesn't mean he wants them to not talk at all. Kurumi thinks he'll hate her, but he shares that he's hurt that Kurumi is ignoring him. Being ignored by Gecko is terrible enough. In the living world, Gecko and his mother are having dinner. He wonders whether Takeshi is eating well and whether his dorm's food is good. His mother just responds whatever, then he wonders if it's time for him to reconcile with his brother. This finally gets a reaction out of his mother. Back to the past. Apparently, the fake dating thing is why Gecko isn't talking to Takeshi. His brother has always liked Kurumi, so he lashed out at Takeshi when he found out. Gecko then rashly crossed the street, causing him to get hit by a car. Due to his injuries, he couldn't do kendo any longer. Since then, Gecko has resented Takeshi, thinking that his brother is taking away everything from him. It's his own fault he's too bitter and jealous and didn't look before crossing the street, but okay, whatever. Kurumi and Takeshi are still in the hallway. Kurumi asks if they can be like they were before, which Takeshi agrees to. The girl then discovers her photos in Takeshi's pocket. Kurumi playfully scolds Takeshi as the poor boy struggles to explain the situation. However, since they're back to their old setup, Kurumi chooses a photo that Takeshi can keep for himself before she leaves. Unbeknownst to them, Mui is on the stairs and has seen everything. She looks at the fortune teller ticket in her hand and runs back up. As she walks alone, Kurumi can't help but wonder if Mui convinced Takeshi to make up with her. And if Mui had not persuaded him, would Takeshi still reconcile with her? Takeshi, who do you like? Kurumi can't help but ask. Takeshi, Kurumi, and Kazumi have been introduced to a whole new world and gained powers, thanks to Mui and the ghost trailers. While learning magic and their new world, they have the time to form a love triangle. Well, not Kazumi. He's just vibing with his destructive magic. Teenagers will be teenagers after all. Let's just hope they can find their places in the ruined world, and for Takeshi, Kurumi, and Mui to resolve their love triangle.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.